In the span of just 3 years, one country has rewritten the rules of global sports forever. They've poached the world's biggest soccer star, created a rival golf league that fractured the sport, and are now making moves that could fundamentally reshape how we consume entertainment itself. This isn't just about sports. This is about power, influence, and a trillion-dollar gamble that could change everything you watch, every game you follow, and every piece of content you consume. Welcome to Saudi Arabia's master plan. Meet the Public Investment Fund. With assets approaching $1 trillion, it's the world's 6th largest sovereign wealth fund. It's not playing the same game as everyone else. While most sports organizations worry about profit margins and return on investment, Saudi Arabia is playing a completely different game. They're not just buying assets, they're buying influence, legitimacy, and your attention. Let's break down the numbers. Cristiano Ronaldo alone gets $400 million per year, a $2 billion offer to merge the ATP and WTA tennis tours, majority ownership of Newcastle United, the creation of LIV Golf with prize pools that dwarf traditional tournaments. But here's the kicker. This isn't random. Every investment fits into a carefully orchestrated strategy called Vision 2030, designed to transform Saudi Arabia from an oil-dependent kingdom into a global entertainment and tourism powerhouse. And they're just getting started. This all traces back to one man's vision, Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. He looked at a future where oil might not be king forever, and he made a bet that would make most CFOs faint. The math is actually quite simple, if you think like a sovereign wealth fund. The global sports market is worth over $500 billion annually, and growing at 8% per year. The entertainment industry? $2.3 trillion and climbing. But Saudi Arabia isn't just investing in these industries, they're systematically acquiring the infrastructure that controls them. Take their media strategy. In 2024, the Saudi Public Investment Fund took control of MBC Group, the Middle East's largest broadcaster. They've invested $249 million in Greece's Antenna Group. They're building Alamiya, a massive production and entertainment conglomerate. On the sports side, they're not just buying teams, they're buying entire leagues, tournaments, and the intellectual property that controls global sporting events. The newly created SRJ Sports Investments exists for one purpose: to acquire and create sports events, EP, and commercial rights. Critics call it sports washing, using sports to improve international reputation and distract from human rights concerns. But dismissing it as mere PR misses the bigger picture. This is economic colonization through entertainment. Traditional sports operate on revenue sharing, TV deals, and sponsorship agreements. Saudi Arabia operates on sovereign wealth and geopolitical strategy. When you can outspend everyone by 10 times without worrying about profitability, you don't just compete, you reshape entire industries. So what happens when unlimited money meets global sports? LIV Golf didn't just create a rival league. It forced the PGA Tour to completely restructure, increase prize money, and fundamentally change how professional golf operates. Players who were earning millions are now earning tens of millions, but the entire sport is now dependent on Saudi money. The Saudi Pro League has become a retirement destination for aging superstars, but it's also attracting players in their prime. When you can offer Cristiano Ronaldo $400 million, what midfielder says no to $50 million? European football leagues are panicking. La Liga filed complaints with UEFA. The Premier League is quietly worried about talent drain. But here's the thing. Saudi Arabia doesn't need their approval. Through MBC Group and their media investments, Saudi Arabia is building the infrastructure to broadcast and control the narrative around their sporting investments. They're not just buying the games, they're buying the cameras, the production companies, and the distribution networks. This creates what economists call soft power projection. Every time someone watches a Saudi-funded event, attends a Saudi-hosted tournament, or follows a Saudi-paid athlete, they're participating in Saudi Arabia's cultural influence campaign, and the pace is accelerating. In just the past year, they've partnered with FIFA for the Club World Cup, made moves toward world athletics, expanded into combat sports, and are positioning for a 2034 World Cup bid. So why should you care? Because this isn't just changing sports, it's changing how entertainment itself works. Imagine opening your streaming app and finding that the biggest sporting events, the most popular content, and the most attractive athletes are all connected to one source. That's the future Saudi Arabia is building? For athletes, this means unprecedented earning potential, but also potential dependence on a single source of funding. For fans, it means access to incredible events and production values. For traditional sports organizations, this is an existential threat. How do you compete with a sovereign wealth fund that doesn't need to turn a profit? We're witnessing the financialization of global sports and entertainment. Just like how tech companies transformed media consumption, Saudi Arabia is transforming sports consumption, and they're doing it with the resources of an entire nation-state. Saudi Arabia's trillion-dollar plan isn't just about owning sports and media, it's about reshaping global culture itself. Whether you see this as exciting innovation or concerning consolidation, one thing is clear: the games you watch, the athletes you follow, and the content you consume are all changing. This story is just beginning. The future of sports and entertainment is being written right now, and Saudi Arabia is holding the pen. If you want to understand how money and power really work in the modern world, you need to follow stories like this. Subscribe for more deep dives into the forces reshaping our world, and let me know in the comments. Do you think Saudi Arabia's sports investments are revolutionizing entertainment or creating dangerous dependence on authoritarian funding?